Hello YouTube, Komodo Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Planet Coaster, and I know it's been a while. I do apologize for my little bit of inconsistency when it comes to Planet Coaster episodes. As you know, if you've played this game, it takes a while to actually go in here and be able to put things together, and I haven't had, all the time that I really wanted to with it the past week, so I did make some progress today, and I'm going to kind of show you what I've done. I remember last time I said that I wasn't going to do like a time lapse with my coaster build, but I'm actually going to do it this time. The reason being, this coaster is it's a placeholder. It actually turned out pretty good, and I'm probably going to wind up keeping quite a few parts of it, but it really did. It turned out like what I'm using it for, I need it in this certain spot because I'm going to start building the terrain and the buildings around it, and I need like something in place that way I can start, getting an actual clue of to where like I need to build things. So like I said, it turned out actually pretty good. So I'm going to wind up keeping quite a bit of it. I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to do a ride-along on it today. I want to like save that for when like everything's complete. That way you get the full experience and it actually feels, how I want it to feel. But really what the plan is here, and some people have made some really good suggestions, and I'm going to go ahead and give a shout-out to the Awesome Gamer. He's got a really good suggestion about the wall. I've been looking for like a place to incorporate that big animatronic or monster, the Kraken, and he suggested that I somehow build it into the wall, and I think I'm going to be able to do that. Like I said, I don't get it done in this episode. I ran out of time, but I'm really open to suggestions too, so if anybody else wants to comment below and kind of tell me what they'd like to see or something that they would like to see me attempt, I will definitely take it into consideration and try to fit it into the park. The area that I'm in, and after I finish this coaster here, I'll show you how I extended. I was using that roof piece to create like a water area. I finally think I've figured out a spot to like stick the big pirate ship and to kind of where I need to start swinging that wall that in the previous episodes we started building to try to enclose this whole pirate area. So I've definitely got a better clue about how I want to do that, and you'll actually see me later on in the video. I'll show you where I don't finish the wall, but I start to aim like the bottom pieces out. That way I know exactly where it's going to be. This coaster gave me a little bit of fit here trying to connect it to the station. Didn't quite get it where I wanted it, but realistically, like I said, the main part that I wanted was the station itself, because that's where I can start to build around it, because it's always like, that's the foundation. That's most likely where a lot of your building, like if you're going to be doing something with the coaster itself, you always build up a station around it. So that's really one of the main things that I wanted to go ahead and place. And one thing I noticed, I fooled myself. I kept thinking that I can make the station bigger, and you really can't yet. I would think that's going to be a thing in the future with the whole fact that you can only place like one train on there right now. So hopefully, in the future that kind of appears. I mean, that would be very nice. To me, that's like a standard feature for roller coaster builders, so I'm sure it'll be there. So I try to make the last part of the track kind of flush with the station as best as I could. That way, because I'm going to build, if I do something building-wise, it's going to kind of go back that way, and then I made the first of the track go straight out, because I'm trying to find a way to incorporate it, almost similar to the other coaster I have in the pirate area. I'm just trying to find a way to incorporate all this scenery, and it's been a struggle. I've gone through a couple on my park that I never used. It's like my practice park. I've gone through quite a few designs trying to figure out what I was going to do, and it's a little more complicated than a lot of people would think. I don't know if anybody doesn't think that this is complicated, because it can be. The tools themselves are easy to use, but it's just how you try to like imagine and how you try to use your imagination and try to use it. It's one of those things where I'm still adjusting to it. But yeah, the reception has been pretty good to the park so far. I have quite a few people watching these videos, so that's why I feel I need to continue these and put this out for you guys. Like I said, it's not my like big channel videos, that, of course, that being Scrap Mechanic, but I just enjoy this so much, so that's why I love playing it. What you're seeing me do here, and it took me a second because I'm measuring out how this grid's gonna, wind up working with the coaster in this area, and I'm thinking about connecting that wall, that outer wall that's in the first of it, the first of the park, and it's gonna connect. It's gonna swing around this way, and it's gonna enclose this water area. Last episode we worked on those rocks, and we have I'm gonna have almost like a cave or a tunnel over by the skull. So the wall is going to end somewhere over there, but for here, for the first part, I'm going to have the wall connect to that wall towards the entrance. I think it's going to look cool. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do that, because at first when I pictured myself enclosing the pirate area, I pictured it being like a square and just almost like a fort or something, but this area is turning out to be a lot bigger than I anticipated, which that's actually a good thing right now with the kind of the lack of scenery options. We don't have any other themes, so I might as well go ahead and make this area pretty big. You see me, I'm having problems here. I eventually delete this path. Hopefully in the future they can change it. I like this ticket queue, but hopefully they can make one that you don't have that bar over top, because that, I mean, the way around it, at first it was blocking where I wanted to cut into the wall. I'd eventually just delete it and move it back. But it would be nice to have an option if, if you wanted that, overhead where you put the sign, or if you wanted it or if you didn't want it, you could turn it on and off. So maybe that will be in the future. There's still a lot of unknown. Some people have actually been talking and in the comments to me in some of the about kind of things I didn't actually know. And I know I did rag on Planet Coaster a little bit about the price of the beta, or actually we're in alpha right now. And I didn't realize that it was actually because, they weren't running on the most funds, so they wanted a way to, continue development on the game. So, I do apologize. I probably was a little too harsh. I wasn't really harsh, but I was telling people 75 is a really steep price. It's something I didn't care. It was fine with me because I really love roller coaster building games, or park sims. But I was a little harsh on that, so I do apologize if I had some people come in defense of Planet Coaster, which that's 100% fine. I understand why now. I probably should have figured out why the price was so expensive in the first place, because it did throw me off initially when they announced it, how expensive the alpha was. I was like, 75 is pretty steep, but I figured I'm going to get some coverage out of it, and I'm going to enjoy the game, so that's why I paid for it. And I just, like I said, I wanted to support the company, but I didn't realize the circumstances, why it was the price it was. So anyways, let's move on from talking for prices. This design I'm doing here is similar to the wall. It's going to connect on that left side. I really want to see, I want to hear, this is kind of where I'm not stuck, but I know a little bit what I'm going to do. But I would like to hear from you guys what you would like to see in this area. This water area in front of it is actually where I'm going to wind up sticking the pirate ship. I'm going to make it look like almost like a battle's going on. I'm going to have the pirate ship on the inside area. And I'm going to try to stick cannons on it. I'm going to stick cannons all over this wall. And just make it... And the cannons that you can stick on the wall actually move. They'll open up and fire. And I'm going to try to make it look almost like there's a battle happening. I think it would be really cool. Especially when guests are walking around to the entrance of the roller coaster here. They would see all that just going on, and they'll be right in the middle of it. So I really think that's something that I like. Like I said, I would like to hear from you guys, because I'm thinking about turning Morley My Planet Coaster into a what do you guys want to see series, because I have had a lot of suggestions, and that's why, like I said, I shouted out to the Awesome Gamer, because he had something that I thought was a really good suggestion about doing the Kraken monster in the wall. So that's always cool to hear. I'm trying to regularly play this, but sometimes, like I said, it gets to where I don't get to do it as much as I want to. Scrap Mechanic does, of course, take up most of my time, but I'm gonna try to kick it up for you guys, and hopefully, like I said, there won't be as big of a gap in between episodes. I don't know, I'm gonna go straight out. It took me a second to angle this, this is where the wall's going to come out. I'm going to have one more tower, and then I'll have to slant the wall even more, and we'll connect with the tower that's already built. And here's another area where I know this is going to take a long time, and I'm probably not even going to show this whenever I do it, because not unless you guys want to watch me place like 100 rocks, it's really going to be pointless. This whole area, I'm going to build up. I kind of just started on the base and figuring out how exactly I wanted to do this. But this whole area is going to be built up, and the only thing that's going to really be exposed is that front part of the wall. But beyond that, in this empty area, or this big grassy area, I'm going to connect, and that wall is going to just, I'm going to try to make the wall, I got to make it look as natural as possible, and that's kind of hard in this game. I do like how you can be really precise, and you can morph objects into each other, and that's really helped with, like, when I built that big skull, like, start of the cave, you know, it looks really good, and it's all because you can morph objects into each other. And ignore the guests just standing there. If for some reason they get stuck in the exit queue, I'll probably just delete the line, and I think they'll disappear. But that's where I'm trying to figure out, like I said, this whole area here with the water, you know, it's meant not really to be like the ocean. It's meant to more really be a bay. That's why the pirate ship's in the middle of it. At first, I really pictured there being like an ocean and a dock, and realistically, it's going to look really funny just having a big area. Like, it's already big enough with the blue pieces for the water. Like, I really didn't want to overdo it and just take up way too much space with it. That's why it's the size it is now. And when I place the pirate ship, it looks big in there, but scale-wise, I believe it's a pretty good fit. So let's see, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm just doing my standard placing the doors here. I actually go back here in a second. I start cutting this wall little pieces into it, and I start placing the cannons in there. Those are some really actually neat. I mean, there's tons of neat props in here. There's stuff in here. It's almost like, even though there isn't much, I still go back and discover new props that I haven't used yet. And there's still a lot of them that I haven't used. I think when I go back and start finishing up the city part, I've got a lot of fountains and stuff that I get to use. Here's the pirate ship, and this was the spot that I could think of placing it, and I actually think it looks really good here. I'm cutting the holes in the wall. There's another piece here that has like a little spot for a cannon, and that's where I'm getting this. I like this plan for this battle that's going to happen. And it's going to just happen overhead of the guest. And I apologize. Somebody pointed this out in one of my scrap mechanic videos the other day, that my dogs can be a little loud. So occasionally you'll catch them in the background. I try to filter that out, but if you hear anything, because I just heard them go off, and I'm going to go ahead and mention it now. If you hear a weird noise in the background, it's probably my dogs being really loud. So let's see. I'm trying to sink this into the ground to make it, like, the first couple times I synced, I didn't realize I was covering up the cannons, and it didn't look really good. So here's the Kraken monster that I was mentioning earlier. I haven't decided on a spot for this, so don't be disappointed if I haven't placed it yet. I run out of time here in a minute, and just trust me, I'm going to incorporate it because it's way too cool of a piece not to use. But I'm going to do that, and I'll just figure out, I maybe want to incorporate it more into the ride. So I've just, like I said, I've got a lot of planning to do, and it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take longer than I thought it was going to. I thought, oh yeah, I can, 1 or 2 episodes, this will be fine, I'll get it out. But it hasn't quite worked that way, so we're still working on it. I also, in the whole grand plan, I'm going to eventually go around to the park and redo that. But I slowed the footage down here, just kind of showed you what I covered in this episode. Of course, you can see this part of the wall is going to go out. I'll have another tower in between. It'll go in, it'll connect. And that will almost enclose, like, more than half of it. I still got to figure out, I don't think I'm going to have a wall on the far side. It's going to be more like a cliff, so I'll be able to cover it up. But yeah, we've made a lot of progress. I'm really proud of what I've done. I know I had some people saying, like, oh yeah, you're a really good builder. I still don't feel that way yet, because I know there's a lot better builders out there on YouTube right now, and I'm just still playing catch up a bit. But there's the dogs. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you will join us for the next scrap mechanic. And that should be here in a couple days, and then hopefully you can join us for the Planet Coaster. So, anyways, here's the overview, and we'll see you guys next time.